Hey guys, welcome to the channel, or welcome back. Um, okay, so we're going to talk about trophy setup, right, for your homes today. That's what I'm going to talk about, and what I'm going to show you here, I'm on my island. Let's pull up the map. So this is my island, right? It's completely filled in terms of homes, and I'm going to revolve everything around mercenary laborers. And the reason is obviously, if you've seen some of my other videos, I'm a dungeon guy, right? So mercenaries is a logical laborer. They're along for the ride in terms of the journals and income, right? So if that's you, then this is perfect. If it's not, it's still usable to gauge, how to set up trophies for other laborers, if you will. And you can do the same type of thing to set up. So let's look at the map here. These are tier 5 homes, okay? So I'm only going to talk about reaching tier 5 level for the homes and the labor um, journals, because tier 5 is safe, right? You can go in the yellow dungeon and get your journals filled. You can collect in the yellow zones if you're doing other labors. That's safe. Everything is safe. I do have a tier 6 home here that I upgraded to check out what the differences are, and more on that in a little bit. And there is a difference, so I'll show you that in a little bit. So let's start here. This is my example, right? So I'm going to go in, and here's my two laborers. I kind of rearrange everything as far as trophies, and I'm going to show you the difference, okay? So let's start with this guy. What you're going to see here is he earned the max amount that's allowable for a tier 5 book, right? In a tier 5 home with all the max tier 5 furnitures, okay? So that's the key. You can scale this up and down, meaning if you have a tier 3 home, you can max out all the furniture, you max out all the trophies up to tier 3, and so on and so forth, and you're going to get the max amount, whatever it is at that tier. But I'm only talking about tier 5, which is as high as I'm going to go because it's safe, okay? You don't have to go to red zone or black zone to get your books filled, because that's not safe, right? And so um, I have two examples here. One is that this is the max normal you would get, and this is the max, the other end that you would get if you had the additional trophies and you have the bonus, basically. So I'm going to take this, right? And then I'm going to put in a book here. And it's going to say, hey, you get two possible returns. It's either or, right? You get one or the other. You don't get anything in between. It's not a range, okay? So you get the low end, which was the guy on the left, and you get the high end, which is the guy I just took, which is the close to I'm going to call it 3,500 versus 1,750. Okay? So I got the high end, and what it says here is the yield based on the trophy setup is an additional 30% chance that you would get this. If you didn't have any of these trophies and you only had the max furniture allowed for this home, you're going to get 100%, meaning you're always going to get 1750. If you were to have lower tier beds, then you would get something less than that, meaning you may not get anything at all. So it'll drop to like 90%, 80%, 70%. I don't know how low it gets, but if you're in that range, then you only have, let's say, 80% chance of getting the 1750, and you have, this is not even an option, right? So you want to max out the furniture to get your 100%, and then the trophy gets you the additional on top the additional chance on top of getting um, this additional bonus boost. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about how to set up these trophies, and then I'm gonna have, per usual, kind of a summary presentation. So don't miss that if you're gonna click through that. At least take a look at that, and then that should give you kind of an idea. Okay. So if I click this guy, I got the normal. Okay. So the other guy I already collected, and if I put a book in, it's gonna say these are my possible returns. Okay. So you're gonna accept that, and then um, I'm gonna look over here and look at how this is managed. So the max for this tier of a home is 250, 250. If you have the tier 5 table, you're going to get 250 of happiness. You have all 3 beds, you're going to get 250 tier 5 uh, out of 400. It's out of a higher number because if you look up here, my mercenary is a tier 8 level. He should be in a tier 8 home with all the max tier 8 furniture. Then he would be, at 900. And then the trophies would be on top of that. And then I would have to bring in all these tier 8 books. Then my income would shoot, dramatically higher. But that's not safe, right? It's very tough to fill tier 8 books. It's very tough to get that level of return. So I'm not going to do that because I love, passing the time, going through yellow dungeons 90% of the time, and maybe 10 or 20% is in red and black dungeons, maybe. Um, so I'm going to give you this example for tier 5 because most of my examples and videos are geared towards the kind of the intermediate and beginner and very much solo players, okay? So yeah, if you're a big shot and you have lots of money and all that, of course you're gonna poo-poo and say that, hey, mercenaries are no good, whatever, laborer, that the income sucks, whatever. That's not the point. The point is I'm gonna dungeon anyway. I'm gonna dungeon yellow zones, so I'm gonna fill these books. That's just along for the ride, and it's extra income. That's just the bottom line. And if you're a beginner or intermediate player, and that's what you do also, and you're a solo player, this is a great income source. It's along for the ride, and it's a good way to get you to where you would want to be later. Then you can branch out and so on and so forth. This has worked really well for me. As you can see, my goal here, I'm well on my way of getting a 1 year, right? That's really my ultimate goal, right? I want to get my 1 year subscription. So bottom line is, that's what I'm working towards, and this is an example for people like you if you're a solo player or if you're a beginner. Okay, so let's do the trophies. If you look at the trophies here, I've kind of arranged them all for you. And if you look at the how they're ordered, they go from 2 to 3 to 4 and 5. Okay, these are general trophies, meaning you can buy these trophies for any one of your laborers, regardless of what their background, whether they're mining or stone collection or skinners or in this case mercenary. They're general, so they apply to all of them. It says the trophy adds 5 happiness, right, for up to 3 kinds of laborers in this house. So you can only have one level of trophy, meaning a 2 and a 3. If you have 4 or 5 of these, it only counts as 5 happiness, right? It doesn't double count or triple count. So having multiple doesn't mean anything. You max out at 5, okay? So if you look at the happiness, these 4 at 5 apiece add 20 happiness, okay? Now these are specific. These are specific to your laborer, So if you buy the wrong kind, it won't help. In this case, I have a mercenary. If you have a miner, you should get mining trophies. Um, it adds 10 happiness for up to 3 laborers. So again, same thing, right? You can double up, triple up. It doesn't matter, okay? So I get 1, 2, 3, 4, or tier 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that's going to give me 40 plus the 20. So I got 60, okay? That's maxing out. I basically, for a tier 5, have maxed out. If I had a tier 8 home, I can continue with additional trophy levels. But you can't put tier 6 trophies in a tier 5 home, right? They won't accept it. So with a 60 maxed out trophy, with the maxed out furniture, with the maxed out table and bed, you're going to be able to, I'm going to take this, right, and I'm going to put in a book, get the 30% additional take, which is the 30% chance of getting the higher return, okay? And that's the bottom line. All right, so I'm going to accept that. All right. So let me move over to show you something. This is a tier 5 home, right? And I just want to show you, and I didn't collect this yet. This is a tier 6 home, okay? And I did 2 of them because I had these stones. I did an upgrade. I just want to check it out. And I wanted to see what the take was for a tier 6 home and what the difference was. So I'm going to show that to you. So you can see the appearance here. This is a tier 6 home. Okay. So if you look at the furniture, they're all tier 6. All right. So if you look at the management here, this gets bumped up, right? These are tier 8 laborers, but they're in tier 6 home, so they max out with the furniture at 300 instead of 250. Okay. You see my trophy is at 0. That's on purpose, and I want to show you why that is. Okay. If I'm using tier 5 books on these guys, which I am, I'm going to take this. And I'm going to put this in there. Because I'm in a tier 6 home and my happiness is at 600 instead of the 560, using tier 5 books, as you can see here, my yield is much higher. I don't need the trophies because the furniture gave me more happiness than what the trophies would have. So they maxed me out at 150%. So I have a 50% chance of getting the higher yield. Remember, it's either or, right? I'm going to get 1750 or 3500 roughly. Either or. I'm going to get one or the other. And I have a 50% chance at a tier 5 home of getting this versus a 30% chance had I done the trophy route and had a tier 5 home. I will say this to you, the upgrade to the furniture, the upgrade to the home in terms of the stones and the resources is not worth it. Okay, it's just simply not worth it. So I'm going to accept this. So he got the lower one. This guy got the higher return, right? Because it's 50-50. So I'm going to take that. And this guy got, let me see what so he got the higher one, right? So your take is going to be much better because it's 50-50 of getting the higher return. But I will say that it's still not worth it because the payback is so long. I mean, to get all your that extra 20% is just simply not worth it. And the reason I say that is because yeah, unless you plan on going to tier 6 zone and all that, which is red zones and black zones and dungeons, to fill those books. Um, I still think keeping it at tier 5 is the optimal way of getting a return. Okay, so that's just for you. You don't need trophies if you want this route, but I don't recommend it because it just costs way too much to upgrade. Um, the stones right here, 180 tier 6. This is going to tier 7 now. That's so much money. It's just not worth it. It's just simply not worth it. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep everything at tier 6. And I tried this out. It just didn't quite work. And I'm cool with that because it's informational and it's information I'm going to pass to you. And hopefully, maybe you don't make the mistake or make, that. I'm okay with upgrading this, but it's just not, to me, not worth it. So that's that for tier 6. Now, what I'm going to do is go to the guild island, okay? I'm going to go to the guild island, and just one last thing for you. So I'm going to go there. And what I'm going to show you here is that you see these trophies here. There's 15 guys in the guild hall, okay? 15 guys. You have to divide this by 3. So if you want to max out their return, so I'm going to grab this. So you want to get to a 130, you're going to need 5 of everything, right? 15 guys. Each one of these trophies is good for 3, right? So you're going to need 5. So 5 of the tier 2, 5 of the tier 3, 5 of the tier 4, so on, so up to tier 5. And then the general trophies. So keep that in mind. I will say that trophies are fairly cheap, especially the general trophies. So go buy a ton of them while you're upgrading, and insert them as needed, right? So keep them all in kind of a cluster as you set up your home. It's very tough to do because the home grows as you upgrade it, or the guild hall. So when you do that, you're gonna get more room as you go. So it's kind of difficult, and you kind of see my take rate, right? I'm doing this as an example while I'm walking you through. So it's 30%. It's 30%. It happens. It's pretty random, obviously. See, this is random, right? But if you were to do 10, right, 3 out of 10 should give you, in general, the bigger return. Okay, so either or, right? So it kind of is working out that way, right? Maybe a little bit more if you're lucky, meaning a higher percentage than 30 because it's random, right? So it's individually random. Sometimes you get more, sometimes you don't. You have a 30% chance, right? It's like the casino. I think that's a slot machine return rate, 30%. So there you have it. Trophies. If you set it all right, every single home is at 30%. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you one where I got shorted. And what I mean by that is I didn't spend the money to buy the bed. Let's see. Okay. This is a tier 4 bed in a tier 5 home. Right? This is a tier 5. So I'm short one bed, meaning one bed that's qualified to get me to the maximum amount. So if I did that, 121%. Why? Because his happiness on the bed is not cool, right? It's not maxed out at 250. And because it's not maxed out, I am not getting the max return. Okay? So everybody got penalized. He's not getting the max return. He's not getting the max return. Even though it's random and 20%, I still got the max here, but the percentage is not max. Okay? So that was an example. I kept this bed here so I can give you that example. I'm going to upgrade it soon, I hope. I keep forgetting maybe. I'll get to it. So that's it. I have a couple more. Yeah, these guys are all at max, so there you have it, right? All right, so that's it for trophies. I hope this was helpful. Nobody explained it to me, right? I have to kind of fumble around. So if you're the beginner, intermediate, looking to get into this type of setup, I hope this was helpful to you. Share it with other people and subscribe. If I come across other things, I definitely would share it with you. And, you know, my journey as a solo player um, was relatively successful, meaning I'm able to generate a ton of gold and income in silver and, um, you know, grab a crap load of stuff, right? And that's what makes this game fun. Um, being able to grab a ton of stuff, customize, and do what you like to do, uh, any way you like it to get successful. So that's my solo journey, and thank you for watching. And subscribe and like if you like it.